tacos, specifically tacos with a little salsa verde on top, are one of my favorite things to eat. But it's cold outside and tacos ain't that comforting. But what if I told you you could take everything you love about a taco and salsa verde and turn it into one of the coziest, richest, and most flavorful stews you're ever gonna have? That's chili verde. My eyes are telling me stew, but my mouth is telling me tacos. And of course it starts with a salsa verde. We've got onions, we've got poblanos, a bunch of garlic cloves, some jalapeno, and some serrano chilies. And then the main ingredient, tomatillos. Now the name tomatillo means little tomato, but they're not actually tomatoes. They're actually closer to like a ground cherry than an actual tomato. And they come in these husks, and you just gotta remove the husk. They peel right off, and underneath is kind of this sticky little film. You remove the paper, you rinse all of the tomatillos down, and they're good to go. Now, I'm gonna take the onion and the garlic, set that aside. I'm gonna throw in the poblanos, the serranos, and the tomatillos around the outside. And I'm gonna need the onion for the salsa, about a little less than half. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of it to the pot when we get everything cooking. But for the salsa, you can just cut the ends off, peel back that paper, and just, cut it into about 4 segments. We can just pop open the garlic cloves, remove their paper. I could take one of these little sizzle platters, sort of break up the onion. And I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil to all that. Some salt. These salsas need a lot of salt, so we're gonna add a bunch here and then a bunch later. We're gonna turn the broiler on, give everything a nice toss. We're just gonna pop these under the broiler. When you see the top of the tomatillos, the peppers, the onions start charring, go in, give them a flip, move them around, and just try and get as much of a char on all sides as you can, as fast as you can. Now once you get some nice char, we're gonna get the onions and garlic into a blender. Looks burnt, but that's kind of like flavor. There's so much development of that pepper flavor, the tomatillo underneath all of that. It's beautiful. So we're gonna get those tomatillos in, all that juice too. Now for the peppers, you can let them cool. They're gonna be hot to touch at the moment, but I'm just gonna start to tear open the pepper, and you can even remove that char, but I actually kind of like a little of that in the salsa. We're just gonna tear some of the flesh of the peppers. Woo! Get that into the blender. If you want it super spicy, you could leave the seeds in on some of them, take the seeds out on others, whatever you want to do. Now we can add a few other things. Classic, a little chicken bouillon powder. Got the flavor, it's got the MSG, then we got the lime juice. I like mine pretty bright, so I'm gonna start with one. Not a lot of juice in this guy. Just dial in the acidity to how I like it. Well, I can't tell you use 2 limes, because what if there's no juice in it? You gotta use your mouth, you gotta use your tongue, your taste buds, figure it out. And then because we're using this as sort of a braising liquid, it's not something I would normally do for a salsa per se, but we're gonna add some chicken broth. Maybe around a cup or so. I just wanna give it a little bit of that moisture so that this doesn't reduce too fast and the pork can sort of cook in a nice moist environment. Like I said, salsas need salt. We're gonna blend it up, see how we do. And we're just gonna process it till it's thick, smooth, and just a little bit of coarse and chunkiness running through it. It's a great blender. You see how easy I did that? Good, balanced, to get the acidity. It's probably on the stronger end of heat. So if you don't like it too spicy, I would maybe dial it back down to 1 serrano, lower the amount of seeds you add. But I think it's gonna be perfect. I like a little hurt sometimes. So now we've got the base of our recipe, our salsa verde. Now remember, hot salsas are hard to really gauge how they actually taste. You gotta let that cool, get a better idea of where you're at. But we're gonna set this off to the side while we deal with our pork. Now for the pork, I'm gonna prep the rest of that onion. Just going to slice it. Knife sort of angled, so I'm cutting towards the center and then working my way around the curvature of the onion, following these little grooves you've got. So when you get close to the end, push it away, same thing. Cut the garlic in half, remove the paper, and then we're just gonna slice those as we normally do, as thin as possible. Just gonna get a bowl for the onions and then a bowl for the garlic. So right here I have about 2.5 to 3 pounds of boneless pork shoulder. Got it wrapped up. I'm just gonna unwrap. Now for this stew, we wanna cut it into chunks, but we want them bite-sized. This is a stew. We don't want big chunks because ultimately we're gonna be serving them in tortillas. So you're gonna end up eating it like a taco anyway. Maybe the length of your knuckle to fingertip. Cut it into a strip. Cut those strips into squares. Put them in little chunks like that. Gonna slightly render down. You're gonna be able to fit a bunch into a little taco. Maybe I'll go a little bit thinner. starting out something like that. Go through, chop the rest of the pork up into pieces. So there we've got our pork. Last little thing to maximize like the most flavor in this dish is we're gonna go in with some whole cumin seed, about a tablespoon of that, tablespoon of whole coriander seed. Kind of start by just sort of popping those seeds, break them down a little bit, and then what you can do is just start kind of grinding it against the side walls, and then after a while you'll notice it just turns into a powder, and then the aroma just explodes in your nostril. That is a potently delicious aroma. One final thing to prep, some tortilla. You often have to choose between corn tortillas and flour tortillas and something like this. And I said, hey, I don't want to make a decision. I want to have both. So what we're doing is we're doing a crispy corn tortilla on top. I'm just going to cut these in half, stack them on top of one another, and give them a slice. And so while we have this crispy corn tortilla topping, we're going to serve soft flour tortillas as sort of like a utensil for eating this chili. We have these strips. We're going to fry those up while the chili's cooking. Now we have all of our ingredients prepped. Let's get this chili cooking. Now we need like a good heavy bottom Dutch oven for this. We're gonna get that on medium high heat. I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil to the pan, and then I'm gonna cook the pork in batches so we get a nice sear on all of them. So the first batch, I'm just gonna sort of arrange in one even layer across the bottom of the pan. Once that pork is arranged in that layer, we're gonna season it with salt, and then we're gonna leave it alone. Do not touch it. Let it do its job. Let it develop color on that one side, some fond on the bottom of the pan, and then we can sort of mix it up. We wanna make sure we get some nice color development on that pork and on the bottom of the pan. And once it's nice and brown, we can spoon out that first batch and then get another round of pork laid down so we can get that nice and browned. And in that second layer of pork, once it's browned, I'm gonna push it off to the side, and I'm just gonna drain off some of this fat. I don't need it all. I'm gonna leave a little bit left in the pan, but you know, I'm watching my waistline these days. Once you've drained some of that fat in, you can go ahead and add in the onions. Get those stirred in, softened, and beginning to caramelize. We can hit them with a little bit of salt. And once they're nice and soft, we can go in and add in the garlic. Cook that until it's nice and fragrant, that nice garlic aroma permeating through the pot, and then we can go ahead and add in the rest of the pork. Now we're gonna start to develop flavor. We're gonna take some of that spice mixture, and we're gonna just add it into the pork. And we're gonna mix it all up and allow those seasonings to sort of toast and bloom in the pot. Wake that flavor up. And once those spices are worked in and you can see some browning on the bottom of the pan, it's time to deglaze with a bottle of beer. Gonna pour in that whole bottle and then just scrape up the bottom and let that reduce down by about half. And once it's nice and thick, we can go in and we can add in most of our salsa verde. I'm gonna reserve a little bit for the end to add back in to brighten up the color. Stir that all together, and then I'm gonna drop the heat down to my lowest simmer, move that over to the back burner, and then I'm gonna cover with a lid, leaving it slightly cracked, and set a timer for an hour and a half. While that cooks, we can work on our garnish. But before we do that, it's a new year, which means new problems. And I just turned 39, and one thing that I know for certain in life is that it never stops testing you. Sometimes I'm good at handling it, other times not so much. That's why I like to work things out and release the pressure with our sponsor today, BetterHelp. BetterHelp makes starting therapy easier and much less intimidating for a lot of people. And if you're like me and you've been to in-person therapy, you know how frustrating it could be. Appointments always being late, sitting there in a waiting room, just feeling exposed. BetterHelp can match you to one of over 30,000 therapists in their network based on your needs, preferences, and location, which gives you access to a wider range of expertise that may not be available in your city. To get started, you fill out a questionnaire that will ask you questions about what challenges you're going through, what kind of therapist you'd like, and then BetterHelp can match you with a therapist, in most cases within 48 hours. You can schedule therapy sessions at a time that's convenient for you, and everything you share is completely confidential. If you don't love your therapist, you can request a new one at any time at no charge. So if you want to join the over 4 million people who've used BetterHelp to start living a healthier, happier life, BetterHelp is giving my audience 10% off on your first month when you use the code in the description or visit betterhelp.com/notanothercookingshow. Now back into the recipe. Now, one of our garnishes is gonna be this crunchy, crispy corn tortilla haystack. So I'm gonna get a pot on the stove, add a few inches of oil, and once it's at a frying temperature, I'm gonna add in the strips, keep them moving around until they're all nice and golden brown. Once they're nice and crisp and we transfer them to a paper towel, we're gonna hit them with a little bit of salt and set those aside. Another element we need to prep is a little bit of a crema. So I'm gonna take some sour cream, about 2 spoonfuls, and to thin it out, I'm just gonna start off working a little bit of water. I'm looking for a consistency here, something pourable that I can sort of just drip on top of my chili verde. I'm just gonna stir it in. If it's a little too thick, I'm gonna work a little bit more water in. And once it's a nice runny consistency, I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of salt and we can set that off to the side. Now, while that pork is cooking, we're gonna occasionally give it a stir, make sure nothing's sticking to the bottom. And like I said, we have this cracked slightly so we can have a little bit of evaporation happening while it cooks. And after an hour and a half, we can check for the tenderness of the pork. And I like to do that with a cake tester. Just poke a piece of the pork, see if the cake tester can remove with ease, and it still seems a little bit tough to me. So what I'm gonna do is get this back on the stove covered, let that cook for another 25 minutes. And after 25 minutes, we can check back, see the tenderness, and as you can see, it's perfectly moist and tender when we poke it with a cake tester. This looks nice. I'm gonna give it a nice little stir, and I'm gonna put the top back on, turn the heat off, and allow this to just rest covered for about 30 minutes. This is gonna give us time to work on heating up our flour tortillas, which is gonna be sort of like the bread component that we're gonna eat this chili with. Once they're nice and hot and bubbly, get them out. I like to wrap them up in a little bit of foil just for a little bit of a nice presentation. And then after 30 minutes, we give it a check. It's nice and beautiful. It's a little thick and it's nice and dark, but what we want to do is brighten that color up, and that's when we're going to take that leftover salsa verde, pour it right in, loosen it back up, brighten the color a bit right before we serve it. Now onto plating. We take a nice little bowl. Just like any chili, you just fill the bowl up with it, a nice hearty amount to fill that belly up in this cold weather. And then we're gonna go in with the garnishes. We're just gonna add some streaks of that crema. It's just a nice color pop on that otherwise dark chili. Right in the center, we're gonna take some of those crispy corn tortillas and place them right on top. And then I'm just gonna pick some cilantro leaves. I'm not gonna even slice them, and we're just gonna arrange them on top of the chili. A little bit of some buffalo hot sauce, a few segments of lime, and you're ready to go. All the beautiful flavors of a taco, but just made into a warm, comforting stew. A beautiful thing to eat this time of year. It's just an incredible recipe. It's got a ton of flavor. It's gonna hit those cravings you get in the winter, and it's gonna keep you warm. Recipe for this is gonna be down in the description. That's all that I have today. I'll see you next time. Until then, take care of yourself. Go feed yourself.